Hello, hello, and welcome back, or welcome. I am book lover Lorna, aka Lorna, if that wasn't obvious. And I thought that it was finally time that we talked about my reading goals for 2021. Now, I've already chatted with you about some of the books that I want to read, but I haven't exposed to you how many books I want to read yet this year. And it's ambitious. It really is. So last year my goal was 50 books and I read 82. Probably, because of that old pandemic thing. I wouldn't have read 82 if it wasn't for that. But I'm thinking that this year, unfortunately, I think that still might be a little bit of a thing. So, I've already got a couple of weeks of furlough coming up. So, I'm just expecting that to happen again. Which means that I've kind of learned how to get into the groove of reading quite a lot and how I go about it, even when, there was no lockdowns and things like that, and I still was going to the gym and was able to go out and about. Not as much as usual, obviously. Couldn't go on any nights out. That's not the end of the world, but yeah, that would be like a usual, once a month, nice weekend, go out for a few drinks, maybe some food, have a few too many. Couldn't do that. So I did quite a lot of reading, and I did, like I say, learn how to do that. And I don't think I've got quicker in my reading, but I've just learned how to fit it in where I wouldn't have before. For example, when I'm out and about, now I'm on the Kindle books and everything, so that I can squeeze in more books. So this year I thought that I would try and read 100 books. I almost said 200 then. Wow, I'm not that person. 100 books this year, which would be the biggest number of books that I've ever read in a year. At the moment, last year is the biggest year, and that was obviously 82. So 100 would be a massive achievement. It would be huge to get to three figures. That would be amazing. I know there are still people who are reading 200, 300 books, and yeah, I'm just not about that life. Reading is my biggest hobby, but I do have other hobbies, and people to see, places to be, a life to lead. I just can't read that many. So 100 I think would be a suitable highest number of books I could ever read in a year. Obviously I could read more if I sacrifice other things, but I don't want to. So I think 100 is going to be a good solid number. Now that would mean that I'm going to need to read, it's something like 8.3 books a month. So we'll say 8, and then, some months I read an extra. So we're saying 8 books a month. Now, that doesn't seem quite so bad, only because in November and December, I read something was it somewhere between 10 and 14 books each of those months. So I know that I can do it. It's just the choices of the books that I make, I think, which is slightly going to be the issue. And there will be some months where I don't hit that 8 target, but there will be some months where I go past that. We're in January now, and I've planned to read 9 books this month, and it's only 9 because I planned my 8, wrote them down, and I was like, these are the ones, we're sticking to these. And then I realised there was another one that I wanted to read as the new year came in, so I had to make it 9. I couldn't substitute with another one because I'd already written them down. So we're looking to do 9 in January, but the problem that I'm seeing, starting well, is I'm on track at the moment. I think even Goodreads tells me that I'm on track. The problem that I see at the moment is that, say for example, this month I'm reading A Promised Land by Barack Obama. That's 700 pages. And I've said before, I'm reading that and listening to the audiobook. So that audiobook is 29 hours. Let's see, does it say that I'm on track? You better say I'm on track. So I've read, yeah, it does. You're on track. Yesterday it said you're ahead. That's sad. So that audiobook for A Promised Land, let's see how long I've got left. I've only listened to 2 chapters. I've got 28 hours left. And because I could read it faster by just reading the book itself and not listening to the audiobook, but I'm doing it for the experience. Listening to Barack speak and everything is quite an experience. So that's, over 2 days of my life, over 2 days, over a day of my life. in the whole month. That's a lot of time. So, you know, that's making me slower in terms of reading the other books and everything. But I think that within the year, kind of, obviously we're going to have these 100 books in the whole year. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to fail. We're going to have, unless, you know, something drastic happens, 8 books a month, quite high. I used to be the kind of person, before the ye oldie pandemic, I was like a 4 or 5 book a month person. But because life still isn't normal, even when you can go outside and, you know, Wales isn't in lockdown, which it is currently, just the same as England and Scotland, even when that's not the case, you can't really do very much or go anywhere. So there's not really a lot of distractions at the moment. When life is normal again, I don't think I'll be able to read so much. But, you know, while it's not, I might as well take advantage of it and try and read as many books as I can. So I'm thinking that for these 8 books that I want to read a month, in an ideal world, I would want to be reading like 1 classic book a month. Say, for example, here's one I prepared earlier, which is going to knock everything over. Oh, these are so heavy. For example, Stitch just fell on the floor. For example, I've got these. So the Jane Austen cloth-bound editions, and I mean, I did try reading Pride and Prejudice in the original lockdown and I didn't manage it. I did read like 100 pages and then I just put it down and then never picked it back up again. So in an ideal world, I would read something, if this is so heavy, I'd read something like 1 classic book a month, but I don't think that's going to be possible just because it's going to slow down my reading for those other 7 books, which is the problem I'm having with The Promised Land. And obviously that's not classic, but it is mighty. So I don't know whether, obviously, you know, Barack Obama's book is going to take me longer because I'm listening to the audiobook. Not all big books will take me that long, but maybe, and this isn't a set in stone goal, I should try like 1 classic or 1 big book a month. And by big book, we're talking like 500 plus pages. I would class that as a big boy. I will be trying this again sometime this year. And when I do, I think I'll probably like film a video of it because Pride and Prejudice is so well known, not gonna lie, not really seen the film. I remember putting it on in English class once and I didn't really pay attention. I think I might have read my own book in my school bag, potentially, or I had a singing lesson or something and just disappeared from the room and like, bye, this is boring, because I wasn't that gal at the time. So maybe I might film my kind of process of reading that. Just drop my phone. Let me put these books down because they're so heavy. Yeah, or maybe even like reading one of my special edition books per month. That could be, you know, we could have a classic, a special edition book, or a big book per month in the 8. That would be quite good to help me read like more diversely, I guess, and not just pick the small, nice looking books with easy reading paperback covers. You know, it might inspire me to branch out just a little bit. So that's kind of, I'm not sure about that at the moment. We're going to kind of see how that part goes. We're going to stick with 100. That's 100% a goal. 100%, 100. Yeah. That's definitely a goal. 8 books a month, that's definitely a goal. But we will see about the whole like classic, pretty book, big book kind of thing. Not dead set on that yet, but I think it's kind of in the back of my mind to try and do it. Now, I do want to do some rereading this year, which is probably going to help me with my 100, although they're books that I don't really remember, so it'll be like reading them for the first time. I want to reread Jodi Picoult books. Now, I have got all of the Jodi Picoult books, and I don't know, it's taken me so long to read them that I just really want to reread them because I can't remember most of them. I am a Jodi Picoult fan, but sometimes when other fans say to me, oh, I love this one, I'm like, I have no idea what that is about. So I think it would be really useful for me to reread quite a lot of them, just because it has been over a process of, when did I read my first one? Maybe when I was like 14 or something like that, 14, 15. So we're talking like 9-10 years over like a 9-10 year period. So I think it would be quite good for me to give them a reread because, yeah, my brain has just forgotten the storyline completely. I know that the book exists, but do I remember the story? No. So I also want to reread some Lisa Jewell books, which I don't think you can see on my shelf because they're just on the shelf below this one. Down here I've got a lot of the Lisa Jewell books from when she wrote kind of like romancy books. So we're talking, which I'll tell you which ones I've got. So I've got Vince and Joy, Ralph's Party, 30 Nothing, One Hit Wonder, The Truth About Melody Brown, and then we've also got in big edition / hardback 31 Dream Street and After the Party, which I think is relating to Ralph's Party. Now, I read those again when I was quite young, so it would be nice to have a reminder of them. Just because I've gotten into Lisa's like thrillery books, and I've got some for Christmas. I read one last year. No, two last year. No, one 2019, one 2020. And I just really enjoyed them. So it would be nice to kind of give my brain a reminder of what her other books are like and see if I still like her others just as much. That would be quite good. So I hadn't really, this is something that probably should have been in my books I plan to read in 2021 video, but yeah, it wasn't, because I just didn't think about it at the time. But I think this is kind of a goal in my head for the year, to do quite a lot of rereading. Obviously I'm going to read a load more Holly Martin books, I've talked about that before, but yeah, I think that the main thing is to hit that target and then read things that I enjoy. I think this year, if I'm really hating a book, then I'm just not going to finish it, because, and I don't count those towards my 100 books if I don't finish a book. If I hate it, last year I did start stopping and being like, no, this is an absolute waste of my time. If I'm about 100 pages in and I'm detesting the book, then I will just take it off my Goodreads and I won't read it. And I'll start fresh with something that I can read quickly to get me back up to where I was supposed to be, or where I thought I was supposed to be. Just because I think life is too short to read books that you don't like, and I've done enough reading of books that I don't like. I might as well, you know, stop and not cause myself any torture. Anyway, I think that's probably the end of this. Those are kind of my goals for the year. Apart from the 100, I don't really have much set in stone, just because I don't want to, you know, make one of my favourite hobbies not my favourite anymore and put too much pressure on myself, because I have been known to do that. So yeah, we don't want to put too much pressure on these old shoulders. Yeah, so we're saying 100 books in the year, 8 books a month, gonna do really well, gonna just read all year. Barely any telly. Might as well just get rid of the telly. No, I'm not getting rid of the telly, because Disney Plus and Netflix occasionally. It's taken me actually about a month and a half to watch The Crown, a season of The Crown, the most recent season, and I've still not finished. So that is how much I am not watching telly, and that's basically the only thing that I turn the telly on for at the moment. Yeah, I just pick up a book instead, which is probably a better thing to do, but sometimes you just need some telly time. So yeah, we're not going to do much television this year. We're doing 100 books instead, which is probably better for the brain, you know, although it just can be a bit tiring after work sometimes, but hey ho, we're going with it. 100 books, and I guess at the end of the year we'll see if I completed it and if I managed to do it. Fingers crossed, I really hope so. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!